What if I told you that the real reason that you feel broke, even though you earn a lot of money, is because of something your teacher skipped in grade 6? My teachers also skipped it. They didn't teach me that in grade 6. They never taught you about cash flow, not savings, not salary, cash flow. And until you master this one thing, money will keep slipping through your fingers like water through a leaky bucket. So, today I'm going to reveal the 3 biggest financial mistakes that kill your cash flow. Even when you're in your 40s and 50s and 60s, people are making these big mistakes in their 40s, in their 50s, and in their 60s. And financial mistakes are generally very dangerous in your 20s, 30s. But when you make these mistakes at 40, at 50, at 60, they can have very devastating consequences. And many of us in our 50s, in our 60s, are actually going through the struggle that we're going through today because we made these 3 mistakes in the past and we are still making them. So I'm going to reveal them, and don't worry, this is not about guilt, it's about freedom. And part of why my story, what we are doing is powerful, is because it's also part of my story. It's part of my story. I earned a lot of money, but nobody taught me about cash flow. I earned a lot of money working with the multinationals. I started my career working with Shell, and Chevron picked me from Shell and almost tripled what Shell was paying me. That was a lot of money in those days. And every time I traveled abroad, I traveled for work. When I worked for Chevron, it also came with per diem. A lot of money in those days. A lot of money. Still a lot of money today. In dollars and also in local currency. And then while I was working in Chevron, Shell came back and doubled what Chevron was paying me and called me up, and I went back to Shell. That was a lot of money. But I ended my career broke. Not only broke, in debt. Because of these very mistakes. These 3 mistakes I'm going to teach you today. So they are coming from a hard place. They are lessons I literally learned at the cost of my, as it were, my blood. So let's dive into this, into the lesson. So first of all, to even understand what cash flow is. So type in the comment section, yes or no. Did your teachers in primary school, secondary school, or college teach you about cash flow? Yes or no? So when you answer yes or you answer no, just indicate what country. Just say no and then indicate the country. Let us see that it is a global conspiracy of the system. So just say no and say your country, and then let us see whether particular countries taught you at grade 6, and then whether particular countries didn't. Did they teach you in school about cash flow? Was there a subject called cash flow? All right, so what I'm seeing here is no, 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 lots of no. So I can see no, Nigeria. I can see no, Somalia. I can see no, Ghana and USA. I can see no, Kenya. I can see no, Nigeria. There's a lot of no from Nigeria. Yeah, it's also no because they never taught me. And so can you imagine just how terrible it is that we went through school and we were never taught cash flow. And yet cash flow is the most important language when it comes to your financial freedom. And I'm going to explain it. It's not salary. If financial freedom was about salary, my goodness, I would be extraordinarily wealthy today because I saw big salary. Like many of you here are also seeing big salary. So let's break it down to grade 6, where they should have started. That's where they should have started teaching you about cash flow. So In lay terms, cash flow is the movement of money in and out of your life. Please type it. Type it in the comment section. Remember, why I always want you to type is not just interact with me, because it's a coaching session. It's a teaching and also a coaching session. But psychologically, it's been proven that when you actually get your fingers to work with your ears, with what you're hearing, get your fingers to work with your brain, you cement that lesson more. So cash flow, in its simplest term, is basically the movement of money in and out of your life. It's not how much you earn, but how fast it comes in and how fast it leaks out. That simple definition, if they taught you in primary school, would have made a whole universe of difference in your life. So imagine a bucket of water, like the one that you see on the thumbnail. Your income is the tap. All right, just imagine a bucket of water. Your income is the tap. Then your expenses are the holes in that bucket. So that bucket has holes. It has holes on its side. It has holes at the bottom. So the goal of cash flow is not just to have a fancy tap. You know, there are very many fancy taps coming out these days. And then in some of the five-star hotels, I see extremely fancy tap. But the goal of cash flow is not fancy tap, okay, which is your high salary, like my high salary. It is to patch the leaks. You really need to understand this, because this is fundamental to our conversation tonight. The goal of cash flow is to patch the leaks around the bucket. It's not to have a fancy tap. And better yet, to channel the water into other buckets, which I will be calling assets. So the goal of cash flow is to patch the leaks and also to channel the water coming into the bucket, into other assets. I hope it's making sense to you, because earlier on I have taught you about capital cannibalization. That's a terminology that I came up with. If you see it anywhere on the internet, it came from me. Capital cannibalization. And I define capital cannibalization as it's actually a cash flow problem. The money is going into the bucket, and then it's all being expended, and none is going into building other assets. Because the goal of your financial freedom is to build passive income, to build income that continues to work even when you sleep. Because like Warren Buffett said, until you have assets that produce income while you sleep, he said you're going to work until you die. So that is very important. So why does cash flow matter? Because cash flow is the oxygen of your financial life. That's a truth bomb there. That's an aha moment for someone. That's a microphone drop. Type it in the comment section and personalize it. Don't just, personalize it. Let it come to you. So, cash flow is the oxygen of my financial life. Everybody type that. Cash flow is the oxygen of my financial life. And then you all know what happens. When you don't have oxygen, what happens? When you run out of oxygen. And you see the patients that are put in oxygen in the ICU, in the intensive care units of the hospitals, their life literally hangs in the balance, because if oxygen finishes, that's what happens. That's the end of it. And in fact, I have a very sad story of someone I know, actually a relation. The baby was born, they had their baby premature, and they put the baby in an incubator. And of course, the incubator needed oxygen. And there were a couple of babies with their children in that hospital. I don't want to mention the name of that hospital because a lot of things happen in the third world that are outright criminal that would have, and it just happens, and then nothing happens, and nobody is held to account. And then those people, those relations of mine, he and the wife went the next day to check on their baby in the incubator. Guess what? That baby had died. And guess what happened? They were telling them, oh yeah, we ran out of oxygen in the night. We didn't have oxygen. So that my relation and his wife started wailing, weeping. They just lost the baby, crying, wailing, weeping. And then those heartless nurses shouted at them, why are you disturbing the peace of the hospital? It's not only your baby that died. You can see what I'm telling you. It's a sad, very, very sad, horrible, but very true story. Those babies died because the hospital ran out of oxygen. Can you imagine that? But that shows you exactly the picture of what your financial life is going through. For many of us, our financial lives died so many years ago. You are 48, but your financial life died since 30. That's why life has been such a struggle for you to even meet your pay for basic needs. That's why you always borrow. That's why you never have enough to pay children's school fees. That's why you never have enough to take family vacation. That's why you never have enough for a little bit of luxury in your life, because your financial life died. It's been starved of oxygen, which is cash flow. So are you getting the point of why cash flow is such an incredibly important conversation? Okay, so without cash flow, even a millionaire who has money, even like today's millionaire, without cash flow, that millionaire will suffocate. Take note of this: being rich is having money, being wealthy is having cash flow. You really need to know the difference, because every day we are bombarded by all these social media millionaires who come to Facebook and then big cars and big mansions and things like that. Those guys are not wealthy. So next time you're in a conversation and they're talking about being rich and being wealthy, I need you to know the difference. The rich person has money, but the wealthy person has cash flow. Oh boy, you can say that again. I didn't realize it many years ago. And then now I can understand why I look into my wallet many times on my bank account and it's nearly empty. The wallet has some cash today, but many times it's empty. And then bank account, very little money just there. Do you know what? I got cash flow. I have everyday money that comes in. So that is very important. So now, let's talk about the 3 financial mistakes killing your cash flow. So not only like that hospital ran out of oxygen because they did not have a process that should have told them when oxygen was about to finish. They didn't have any, so it was a mistake. They should have had a processes that automatically alerted them when oxygen was about to finish. Like for the whole hospital, not just the one that they had in the incubator. How can a hospital that big, massive hospital, run out of oxygen? It's because of these 3 financial mistakes. Mistake number 1, income without intention. Type it, everybody. Please interact with me. Mistake number 1, income without intention. Everybody, income without intention. That is financial mistake number 1. So many of us work hard for money, but we don't tell our money what to do. We don't send our money on errand. We don't tell our money what to do. We don't tell it where to go. So salary hits your account, and before you know it, it's gone. There is no plan, just reactions, routine reactions. And like a taxi driver with no destination, just burning fuel. So you can see how big that mistake is. And it happened to me. Income without intention. How do you fix this problem? Create a money instruction sheet. Okay, money instruction sheet. Type it in the comment section. Okay, and then if you guys can hear me, because that is also part of why I encourage this interaction, because sometimes we do have like internet disruption. So I want to make sure that you can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up, because I'm not seeing reactions in the chat section. Give me thumbs up if you can hear me. Give me thumbs up if you can hear what I'm saying. Okay, I don't see any thumbs up. So I'm wondering whether you can all hear me. I'm wondering whether the internet has disconnected a little bit. Okay? All right, so let me continue. And whenever you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up. So how do you fix this money mistake? Number one, create a money instruction sheet every month. So before the money lands, write where it must go, write where that money must go. Okay, so living costs, growth costs like your asset growth, giving, investing, or growth like investing in knowledge, in mentorship, in buying books, and all that, and data. Okay, so if you don't assign your money a mission, it will assign itself a distraction. Please type it in the comment section. When you hear me, I still can't see a thumbs up in the comment section. So I'm wondering whether you can actually hear me. Okay. Mistake number two, living on monthly emotion instead of daily numbers. Type it in the comment section when you can hear me. Living on monthly emotion instead of daily numbers. So your bills are monthly, but your money habits are daily. So there's a mismatch, there's a misalignment between your bills and your habits. So you say, I'll manage this month. I ask a lot of people, how are you doing? Well, I'm managing. But every day you leak cash in snacks, in apps, in data, in all kinds of lifestyle creep. We treat money like it's emotional therapy. That's a big money mistake. So there's a behavioral trap there. So it's called dopamine shopping. You feel broke, so you spend to feel better. And it's a trap, very big trap. So that's like drinking salt water when you are thirsty. It doesn't quench the thirst. How do you fix this? Track your cash flow daily. Use a simple column notebook or app. Just 3 columns. And spent, kept. Very simple, not complicated. Spent, kept. So sell something, knowledge, product, idea of service. So even $10 daily or 1,000 naira daily resets your psychology. Daily cash flow beats monthly panic. Please type that in the comment section. Daily cash flow beats monthly panic. Okay, so from there, let's go on to mistake number 3. The financial mistake number 3. Owning things that don't pay you. Type that also in the comment section. Owning things that don't pay you. So this one is painful, but free. You own a fancy car, you own iPhone 15, you own designer bags and shoes and clothes, but nothing that produces money. That's a huge financial mistake. And many of us make that mistake in our 20s and in our 30s. But of course, by the time we get to our 50s, to our 40s and 50s, we begin to understand that nobody really cares. Nobody really cares about what you wear. But people care when you can't pay your bills. So you are just renting joy. You are not building assets. So people like Rockefeller, Even historical figures like Mansa Musa and wealthy merchants of Timbuktu, they didn't just buy things, they bought systems. Remember that I've told you that the poor people repeat tasks, but the wealthy people repeat systems. So the poor people buy consumer items, they spend, but the wealthy people buy systems. So you typically see them buying stocks, or they are buying farmland, or they are buying trade routes, or they are buying shares, or they are buying gold. So own something that pays you, like stocks, like vending machine, like digital course, like rental assets. So move from trophy, or even if you like, you can call it toy ownership or trophy ownership, to income ownership, because that's what you really want. If it doesn't send you money, it's not an asset, it's an expense in disguise. Okay, now, so what I'm going to do now is to give you baby steps to better cash flow, because how are we going to solve this problem? We don't just want to talk about it, we also want to solve them. So baby step number 1, do a 7-day money leak audit. Type money leak audit in the comment section. Do a 7-day money leak audit. Write down every dollar, every cent, every naira, every rand, every cedi, every shilling that, or pound that you spend. Write it down. Then this will set you free. Look at the list and then circle what was absolutely necessary, what was not absolutely necessary. Just circle that thing that was not absolutely necessary in the list. You will be shocked. Do this tomorrow. Start your 7 days tomorrow. The baby steps of doing audit, okay, your money leak audit. Step number 2, pick a daily earning habit. Remember, you want to create a system that brings in income on a daily basis. Can you teach one lesson? Can you sell one used item? Can you record one video? Can you answer one freelance job? Even just one video, one post. You know, there have been posts that earned up to $1,000, almost $2,000. There have been posts like that, talking about my experience and other people's experiences. Step number 3, build the 3 account system, which I taught you before. So the 3 financial account system, the everyday account where you are spending and living. You know, you buy food, grocery, you fuel your car and all that. So that's the everyday account. And then account number 2 is growth account. So this is where you grow in your investing skills, in the tools that you need to work. And then the 3rd account is your freedom account, and that's where you put your long-term assets and where you put your legacy. What this does is that the system forces you to think like a wealth builder, not a salary earner. Because if you carry the mindset of a salary earner into your mindset, into your 40s and beyond, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle financially, but you need to build the mindset of a wealth builder. Okay, so most people don't have a money problem. What they have is a meaning problem. So you were taught to survive, not to have cash flow. And that's why all your programming was salary focused instead of cash flow focused. So money is not your master, it's your servant, but servants need instruction. Otherwise, they will wander. And then developing this mindset helps you to instruct money as your servant, which is what it is. So for the next day, 7 days, go through that challenge and then come back and tell me how your mindset is shifting. And what I will do is, in the Telegram waitlist group, I'm going to give you this 7 days worksheet. Okay, so you can do it and tell me how that has helped you in the Telegram group. In the description section of this video, you will see clear instructions on how to join Financial Fitness Challenge waitlist. If you are not already there, go there. And I'm going to send you a guide. I'm going to summarize these baby steps and then send you a guide in what you can do in the next 7 days to shift your thinking to a cash flow wealthy person, from a rich person to a wealthy person because of cash flow. All right. So this is where we're going to draw the curtain for tonight. Whatever happens, keep showing up because you never really know. It's never late. It's never too late to turn your financial situation around. And I will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.